Yo, good evening, my friends. Yo, this is Christylez Bacon. We are gathered here on the internets, on live, on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, doing all the things for this series that I started putting together called Beatbox Remix. And this is the live chat. So Beatbox Remix is a series that's all about like connecting the dots, right, and bridging cultural divides. And we're doing that by creating musical collaborations using my first instrument, the human beatbox, and working with musicians from like different styles of music, different genres, different cultures, different places. So this is what we're doing. So look, yeah, we're going to be going in and we're going to be talking about the, what was this? This was the 6th episode that I did with this amazing band called Kino Musica, right? And they're amazing. And we have one of the musicians here who's going to represent right here. So look, I'm going to give y'all some ground rules before we go into this joint. We have a comment section over here. You could just put your comments in that joint. If you have any questions and you're curious about some things, put it in the comment section and we'll ask those questions and we got you covered like shea butter, all right? So look, my friends, I'm going to need you to get your clap emojis together. Get your clap emojis on standby to put in the comment section and bang your palms together and enter in your clap emojis for my good man over here, Kumera from Kino Musica, y'all. Here we go. Let's get him up in here. Paya. Hold on. Let's turn on your mic. What up, brother?
What's going on, Chris? How you doing?
Man, I'm chilling in this joint. Thank God. How you doing, man?
It's a pleasure. Yeah. I'm doing okay, man. I'm really excited to talk to you. And we had such a wonderful process collaborating. So I'm happy to share more about it.
Man, look, it was a good time, man. We could talk more about that. But right now, people, they ain't going to know what we talking about, right? So we got to show them. So look, we're going to show you the video that we did together, but you could easily just find it on the internet, right? You could type in beatboxremix.com and then look for the 6th episode. And then you will see this joint right here. All right. So look, I'm going to load it up for right now so you can see it. It might be a little choppy, but the audio might be on point. OK, so when you catch this on the playback, for those who's going to be watching the playback, I'm going to edit this out and put a link in it or something. But for right now, yo, let's get that joint in right here. Right now, we have the video. All right. Y'all ready for it? Here we go.
arge uma uma ega euritate jalal denama Rabbi malenamni nijijir madaba arge uma
Hey.
That's such a good memory.
Yo, we did it, my dude.
We did. We really did.
My dude. So look, check this out. This right here is a really is a specific style of music, all right? A style of music. And for me, like I'm born and raised here in Washington, D.C., right? So being in Southeast DC, it's just some Southeast stuff going on. We listen to go-go, hip-hop, R&B, and we might get some club stuff from Baltimore on the radio, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't until I moved up to Northwest that I started seeing and like meeting folks from all over the world being in DC, right? And then I started working with my mentor, Bomani, at the time, who was hosting an open mic at Sankofa Video Bookstore. Met my dude, Holly Garima, over there, who was doing the film stuff at Howard, right? Mm-hmm. And then over there, I started meeting all like Ethiopian community over there, right? And then I started listening to the music and I was like, yo, this stuff is lit.
That's nice, man.
This stuff is funky. And I always wanted to do a collaboration, but never got a chance to connect with any musicians until we crossed paths like way later in the game. So my dude, can you please tell them about the music, what we done here, what's going on? All of these things.
Yeah, of course. That's a good story. So the song is called Arge Yehuma. It's a cover of an old song by a singer named Wagayehu Degenetu. And it's from an eastern part of the country. The region is called Bale. And the song is Oromo music. And Oromo music is both within Ethiopia and beyond Ethiopia's borders because Oromo live in Kenya, also Somalia. But the beat is something that's like easily recognizable as a similar type of 6/8 beat that you have like throughout that part of the world. And so roughly it's a love song. Like lyrically, I unfortunately don't speak the language well enough to do like a proper translation. But roughly the song is talking about spirituality and love. And it's kind of saying that like, I should be with you because according to God, like I know I'm good, right?
I'm anointed.
Yeah, which is, it's a beautiful song, but it could also be like a little manipulative maybe. But
yeah.
And so it's a really old song. And the first version that I've ever heard was from the 60s. And it was with these horn bands, actually. And it sounds very little like the version that we did. But then there was another version that the singer did in the 70s with like a full band drum set and everything. It wasn't like the marching band style. And that's kind of what I based the rearrangement or the cover that we did off of.
Hey, man, I appreciate you putting that cover down the way that you did, man.
Definitely.
And so that's going to be on your, so is the way that it's arranged, is that going to be on your project that you're doing with Kino Musica?
Yeah. So we have an EP that should be out fairly soon. And it's called Ifan. which in the Oromo language means sunlight, kind of, or like the light of the sun. It's my little nephew's name.
Hey, yes,
And
nephew.
yeah, he's great. And so it's going to be on there. And basically, like, what I did in the arrangement was the first half was kind of slow, right? Of the original track that I had sent to you, right?
Yep.
The first half was like kind of slow, and it was where the singing was, and then halfway through, the beat picks up and it goes like really fast. And especially on the second part, that style of music is called shagoye, and it's a partner dance. It's like couples dance. I'm also very bad at that, but
Hey, I
so
can't
it
beat my
isn't
feet.
so much like this with your shoulders, like that. There's an aspect of it, but it's more about like a couple dance, and there's like a lot of dancing side to side. And so there's a music video that goes along with it that we've almost finished editing. And my good friends, Talib and Ayantu, who are married, are going to be in the video and dancing. So y'all can see like a good example of it.
Yes, man, that's beautiful, bruh. I can't wait. I can't wait to catch that. I
Thank you.
remember you sent me the recording of this joint, so I got the early leak. You know what I'm saying? I got the mixtape style leak
Definitely.
on that Kino Musica project. By the way, if you want to check out their stuff, check out both accounts on Instagram, all right? So you can follow them and keep in touch and know what's going on. But he sent me this track, and then, you know, like he said, it starts off like slower, and then it just like builds so nicely, right? That thing, it just reminds me of like you just on that plane, and then, you know, you got that engine on, that air start pumping, that AC, and then, you know what I'm saying, you're on the tarmac and you just turning and stuff, getting oriented and stuff, and then you hit that strip, and then that thing take off, bruh. And when that joint take off with that second half, when you do this dance to it, bruh, it's over. And so then we have a piece that's like it's a bit longer, but then our job is to find a way to condense it so it could be like under 2 minutes and still, you know what I'm saying, do it a good job, you know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure you check out that version on the CD.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah.
And so I want to ask you a bit about how you started to get into music, yo.
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I started playing guitar. That was the first instrument that I played when I was in high school. I was 16 or 17 when I started. And it actually happened around the time that I got cut from the basketball team.
Dog. And where was high school, by the way?
I grew up in Austin, Texas.
Okay,
so,
Tex.
I'm from the east side, Dove Springs, Fofo. And then basically I needed something to do with my time. Everybody else got a growth spurt. I was no longer fairly tall, and it's a beautiful story, actually. My father drove a taxi in Austin, and I've never actually told anybody this story before. And so I went to the garage in my house, and there was this object above the washing machine that was like wrapped up in like a tablecloth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I pulled it out, it was like, it's a guitar. And I was like, oh, Dad, were you going to surprise me? And he was like, yeah. For like 15 years afterwards, I didn't know the real story. According to him at the time, he was like, oh, yeah, that's your guitar. And that was my first guitar. It wasn't in tune. The only song I knew how to play was Rage Against the Machine, Guerrilla Radio. Because you don't even need a guitar that's in tune necessarily to play that riff. And then, you know, I played guitar for about 6 months. And then I got this guitar that I still have. It's my favorite guitar. And like that's how I started playing music. But what the real story is evidently one of my dad's customers didn't pay and like just ran away. And he once my dad was done with his shift, he saw like there was this guitar that honestly, like to this day, that thing is not worth more than like $30 or $40. It's a very old guitar that barely works. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, okay. And so that's why he was trying to figure out what to do with it. And he wrapped it up to try to hide it from me. unsuccessfully, and I found it, and then he just gave it to me.
So was it just in his car after the dude left?
It was in the trunk. The dude ran off without paying.
Without
Never tried to contact the company again. And my dad was like, well, charge it to the game, and was like waiting to, he had it in case if the person returned. And then yeah, so like rest in peace, Pops. But like
divinely orchestrated, man.
I
Coming
know.
into a guitar, bro.
I
That's
know.
crazy.
Statute
Yo.
of limitations. This is 2000, 2001, 2002. So like I think he's good. But
yeah.
so yeah, that was the real story, and I found that out after I'd been playing music for about 10 years.
Dang, man. Like, yo, music be catching us, man. It's always an interesting story how people get into it, man. You know?
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting, my dude. So growing up in Texas, how was it like for community out there? Did you feel a strong sense of community out there? Was there a lot of folks from that whole like region, like Oromo people out there?
Not particularly with Oromo.
Oromo.
No problem. There's a small Ethiopian community that my parents had friends, and you know I was cool enough with a lot of the other kids. They lived really far away from my part of town, so I didn't get to see them as much. So really, like my community growing up was in my neighborhood, which was predominantly a Mexican-American or Mexican immigrant neighborhood, and a lot of the music like that I heard was Santana was like the first. Carlos Santana was the first guitar player that I was really into, because that's what I would hear at like the barbecues and block parties and stuff.
What?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. And so and then in high school I had a real lucky like cohort of students to go to school with. So somebody who I used to play on the basketball team with in high school was Gary Clark Jr. And Gary, of course, is like a phenomenal blues musician, right?
Wow.
And we were the same age. So when I started playing guitar, like the first performance I ever did, he was playing drums, actually. It was at school. And then there's some other people, Eve Monsees, who's a guitar player. She's good friends with Gary. There's another performer, Shaky Graves. He was a bit younger than us, but we all went to high school at the same time.
Crazy.
Yeah, so blues was like the first thing that I really leaned in on, and it's still like I think the foundation of my musical identity is definitely playing blues.
Dang, bro, that's interesting. And how does so you start off in Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're really into blues music.
Mm-hmm.
And so how did you start getting into more of like roots music, traditional and your traditional music, and then forming this band Kino Musica?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me might be able to play my way through the examples.
Let's get it, man.
Right.
Even better. Yo,
So,
give it up for my dude Kumera right quick.
Appreciate it. So I got my guitar over here. And yeah, like blues is an incredibly wonderful, complicated music. It is on the surface like simple, but really there's a whole lot going on. And so it's the main tonalities that it's built around is the pentatonic scale. So most people have heard it. It's so like a blues line is and so I started learning music from Mali because that's the ancestral tradition that informed Black music. Here is a lot from Mali. And so in Mali, you start learning a little bit more of like and basically from Mali, it's really similar to the way that Ethiopian music is played, or that Somali music is played, that Oromo music is. There's kind of this continuous, like in Arabic music, the makam, or like scales and modes. All of that is pretty present from Somalia all the way to Morocco and Western Sahara, the way that people play and the way that our cultures have exchanged from one another. And so for me, it's a really beautiful thing because like I'm Black. I grew up in the United States. I was born here. And a lot of what my music is trying to make a connection from Ethiopia to different Black traditions here in the Americas, in the United States, and the Caribbean and South America, right? And so, yeah, like that's how we do it. And so going from a blues thing, like a really well-known song is right. So making that Oromo would be like, so it's just about learning the different rhythms, learning the different beats, and it's a wonderful process that I'm very much in, and I'm really happy when I can bring in people like Chris, my bandmates in Kino Musica. We study this together, and then other wonderful musicians in the area like my good friend Talib Razi, who does this music with us also. It's a really strong like ethnomusicological process, and it's all about connecting ancestral traditions and history.
Bruh, I love that, man. I love that. I love that. So, yo, he took y'all some places. Some good styles of music. It's interesting. So you took this blues riff, pentatonic, and then broke that joint down, added like kind of like it's almost like a shuffle type of feel, type of 6/8 to 12,
Mm-hmm.
12 type of thing. So like if I was to put that beat to it, you know, for me, it'd be like and I don't know if that's syncing up on y'all end, but it sounded good to my ear over here.
Me too.
It's hard to collaborate online with the delays that happen.
Yeah.
So, my friends, one thing, like when hearing this, it's natural for me to hear the connections right off top, and I don't even have to think about it from a blues standpoint. But well, I guess it does come from blues. There are certain songs in African American culture that kind of primes our ears to hear this music and makes it easy for us to dance to and collaborate. And those, I think there are two songs that come to mind. One of them is by James Brown. You ever hear this song? It's called "Doing It to Death."
I have not heard that James Brown song.
Gonna have a funky good time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bruh, like listen to that. Boom, boom, doom, 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 boom, doom, boom, boom. Yo, they skipped the 1 2. Bruh, like so when I heard that and then I started living uptown and stuff, and then I started hearing all this music like Sankofa, Hollering at My Youngins in the Cabs, whatever, like then I was like, oh, this joint go in. So that's one song, Doing It to Death, aka Funky Good Time by James Brown. The second song is a more pop song, and that right there is Michael Jackson, Leave Me Alone. Y'all know that joint?
Definitely.
Y'all know that joint? Hit me up in the comment section if you know this joint, okay? Or recommend some other songs that you think it sounds really similar to the style of music. And how did Leave Me Alone go?
And The Way You Make Me Feel has that kind of thing going through that same swing.
Yeah. How's it go? It's all about that swing and that shuffle, bro. Like straight up, and that's the thing. And who knows, man? Blues. Well, let's go in on blues. All right, so I mean, I haven't done an in-depth like ethnomusicology, like deep dive into it. but I could tell you certain things like instruments like the banjo. It's an instrument from West Africa. It's like from like Ngoni, and it's actually in one of the direct descendants is an instrument called the banjo. It's an African instrument, right? Of course, you have people. You have the Africans that are there that are then enslaved and then brought to the Americas. And then what happens? We create things like banjos and the things that we created back over where we were from originally, right? And then so we have string instruments, and with these string instruments, we do pentatonic things. So my man Kumera was talking about Mali and those influences and those roots. So we probably got all types of stuff like that. So blues is probably like a byproduct of this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But then we hear and we do things a little different. Have you come across some more stuff in your search, deep diving into music on blues and origins?
Yeah. So a type of music that really speaks to me is música del Pacifico in Colombia. So from the Pacific coast of Colombia, in areas that are all predominantly Black, right? It has the same kind of 6/8 beat over there. It's called curulao. And then there's just these like really beautiful pentatonic kind of melodies where people sing together. I wish I could sing it well enough to give a demonstration, but it touches me in that same way as blues, right? Like I can hear that. And so a song I would recommend in a group is Canalón de Timbiquí. And the lead singer of the group, her name is Nidia Gongora. And a song that starts off with this beautiful a cappella like intro is called Tío Huachupecito. And I did a cover of it on my IG page, like my personal one. And to go along with her voice, I played slide guitar. Because that was kind of the only way to try to get the same blue notes, right? She was doing. I didn't do it 100%, but I tried, and it's wonderful. Yeah.
Dog, that's what's up, man. You got to type that in the comment section so I can post that up there, man. Like, yo, write that during the chat or something while I perform a song. So, yo, my man just performed a little something for you. I'm going to ask some more questions in a hot second. But for right now, I would love to do a little piece for you all here. So, look, in the comment section, let me know let me know what type of vibes you want to hear, okay? And I'm going to put together a song real quick. If I don't see it in the comment section come up as quick, then I'm going to go ahead and just go on autopilot and just pick the song myself. Here we go. I think I'm going to roll with a little guitar just because my man's holding it down like gravity. Here we go. All right. Boom. We have guitar. Let's see. This isn't a legit blues as far as like the structure of the music, like harmonically and stuff. This is my little guitar right here, my little classical style guitar, but with some old school design right here. But young, this joint might as well be a blues when it comes to lyrical content. This song is a song from my first album, y'all. It's called Roaches. And this right here, let me tell y'all what inspired this song. This song comes from a time when I was living on 53rd and East Street Southeast in Washington, D.C. in the hood. It's me, my mom, my little sister, and we're living in this apartment building. So look, this apartment building that joint was raggedy. And there was a roach problem. One time, I was riding a Razor scooter in the apartment trying to pop a wheelie, and then I hit the wall and then made a hole in this wall. And then I'm like, okay, when my mom get back, she's going to see this hole in the wall, and it's not going to be good. So let me go seal the hole up myself using some acrylic paint and whatever and some masking tape. I go down there and I look through the wall. It's another wall behind that wall. And behind there's like some type of hidden network of roaches just going back and forth, y'all. It was crazy, crazy stuff. And then so I knew that there was some crazy underground roach problem in my building that wasn't really like coming to the forefront. I sealed up that deal. And then later, when they were gonna totally renovate this building, they gave everyone like little stipends, little vouchers or whatever to move to an apartment building across the street while they work on that building, and then everyone moves back. So look, my friends, this is what happened. Everyone got that little bit of money, moved across the street to the other building. My mom and all of us, we were slacking. We was totally loafing on that whole endeavor. So we were the last people left in the building. As a result, everyone's roaches came up to our apartment to establish a new way of living. And so, my friends, it was the worst. I'm talking about you just chilling with your homie, watching a movie, a roach walk across the screen like, hey, what y'all watching? It's like, my dude. You know what I'm saying? So look, this song is called Roaches. Let me full screen it real quick so y'all can see what's going down. Here we go. Here we go. Everywhere, roaches on the stairs, or roaches in your hair. Hey, yo, mom, let's call these peeps about our Medicare. In my crib, you better look for you sit in your chair. This ain't Hollywood, it's real over here. We got roaches everywhere, roaches on the stairs, or roaches in your hair. Hey, yo, mom, let's call these peeps about our Medicare. In my crib, you better look for you sit in your chair. This ain't Hollywood, it's real over here. Now check it, Christylez apartment ain't like Joe's apartment. You roll out your crib, they in your glove compartment. Roaches in my toaster so I can't bake a strudel. The other day we flowing off a pack of ramen noodles. We kill them in the best of ways. Boric acid, Canarade, bombs that look like a grenade. And yesterday, pepper spray. Had my girl come over and she thought I was the dopest. That's until she knocked on my door and was greeted by them roaches. They always come in large amounts. Trust I know from first hand accounts. We got pets if these roaches count. And if you're trying to find a way to kick them out, the secret is you can't keep no food in your house. I got roaches in my crib and they ain't paying bills, and they make it hard to live and stay at home for your meals. And since I'm on blast, I'ma tell y'all what's up with me. I'm mad cause I can't have my friends over for company. Roaches everywhere, roaches on the stairs, or roaches in your head. Hey, yo, mom, let's call these peeps about our Medicare. In my crib, you better look for you sit in your chair. This ain't Hollywood, it's real over here. Now check it, we in the hood doing that same old two-step, that's stomping out these roaches till we got less than 2 left. How them things got here probably came through the windows. They freeloading cats like bruh man from the 5th floor. I try to talk to them like I don't want no static, but y'all been here for a while and I'm becoming asthmatic. And yes, when I have company, y'all chilling, and yes, I will let y'all stay if it came with a paycheck. But since it don't, I got y'all taking that hike home. My kitchen's looking like a cipher when I turn the lights on. So if y'all catch me all up in the schools crying, it's because they evolved in the game and started flying. My friend said, Christylez, you ain't got it that hard. The cats that really got it worse are in Madagascar with those hissing cockroaches. They vicious cockroaches that will roll up in your crib, eat your food, and leave a post-it. Thank you, my friends. That right there is the song Roaches off my first album, Advanced Artistry. Payal. Man.
Thank you, bro. You know, Bruh Man is from where I was born. I was born in Galveston, outside of Houston, and I have like a list of famous Galvestonians. And so I just a little tidbit. And Jack Johnson also is from Galveston.
Oh, wow. So for those who ain't hip, man, Bruh Man from the 5th floor. I mean, this is on purpose. He does it like that, even though it's full. But Budman from the 5th floor, he was a character off the show Martin. And Martin is this. Martin was a sitcom in the 90s that was led by the comedian Martin Lawrence, who actually spent some time in DC. He wasn't born in DC, but he spent some years in DC as well. So yeah, and so the character Budman from the 5th floor is this comedian that's also from where he from too. Hold on, over on that side. Paya. Dog, I didn't even know. Dog,
Yeah.
that show is hilarious. So now I'm like Scar. If I see anything move across a floor, my eyes are like this so
Yeah.
quick. I
I don't
can't
know if
do it.
you ever been to New Orleans, but
Never.
Gulf Coast insects are very healthy. They're big and scary, man. So be careful if you can.
Wow.
But
Dang.
New Orleans is my favorite place in the country. So that's just a general thing. Down in Texas, Gulf Coast, we got some big insects.
Youngin. Yeah. I can't. So my dude, this we know, this what we know about my young Kumara thus far. He grew up in Texas, right? And came across music through the pop and that guitar. Started getting down with the blues, and then also started checking out music from Mali, which is very interesting. And then started getting into the traditional music as well. Oh, and also Latin American music. Now, how does all these things play a role in influencing the music and what y'all doing with Kino Musica with your band?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started Kino in 2015, I believe. And initially we had, the idea was like, I'd been playing in a merengue band called DC Mambo, and it was all folks who lived in Columbia Heights, and grew up in Columbia Heights mostly. And it was great. But after that experience, my idea was, I worked in the schools in Northwest, right? And I was just like, I want to try to make music that is encompassing like some of the cultures that are here in the area, right? Something that I've never done that I would love to do is to arrange like a proper go-go with Ethiopian music and Ethiopian scales.
Let's get it, my dude.
Yeah. Let's do it. And so, yeah, like that was the idea. And I remember talking about it with a friend who's a mutual friend of ours, Huda Asfur.
Man.
And Huda gave me like really good advice. And she's like, this sounds good. And she had heard a couple of the demos I came up with. But she was like, never try to make your music a collage, right? Like you got to really, really think about like how they intertwine. And initially with Kino, it was like, all right, I'm gonna just make a merengue or something. And so I found this singer, Yabi. And basically what we did is like, we really dug in on songwriting. And then we brought it to two other good friends, Besu Fakatadisa, Besu, and Regan. Everybody knows Regan. And so they started helping me to figure out how to do arrangements and they were writing parts, and like everyone was kind of contributing to figure out how to take these songs beyond just like putting things together and like really kind of cooking it up and making a stronger combination. And so that's how Kino started. And we played a lot at Apio originally. Those were some really fun
spot.
Yeah, we were doing shows, but then we were also playing shows with DJs, and we were branding it. What was it? Noche Afro. Yeah, Noche Afro.
Huh.
And so we did like 4 of those around that time, and they were really fun parties because we didn't have a lot of songs. And so we would do kind of like 2 sets with DJs in between and afterwards. And those were really, really fun times. And that's kind of how the band started.
Whoa. That's dope. Man, so look, y'all got any questions for myself, Kumada? Put that Kumada right there that way. It's reverse the screens. So if y'all got any questions for us or like us to discuss anything, you have any curiosities about the styles of music that we're getting into and talking about, yo, let us know. Put that during the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Get in on our conversation, y'all. We up in this joint. It's a two-way joint. This is how we're gonna have conversations and meetings right here, okay? During this COVID situation. But then after this, we're gonna see y'all at a venue playing some live music for dancing. All right. So for right now, so my dude, we wanna let's talk about the style of music that you're focusing on and that we did in the video that we remixed, and how it's important to identity and what's happening there right now.
Yeah. It means a lot to me that the first song that Kino Musica is going to officially release is a song in Oromo. And I would, really be remiss to not kind of put it within the context of what's happening right now. I'm really happy to be speaking with you, but it's a difficult week for Oromo people in Ethiopia, in the region. There's a really famous and wonderful, talented singer, Achalu Undesa, who was murdered on Monday night, unfortunately. And it's set off a lot of violence, particularly from Ethiopia security forces. And the reason why he was so revered is, I said and shared this before, is the history of that whole region is messed up. Like there's things to celebrate, and there's of course sources of pride, but there's a subtext there that's important for understanding African stories. And my family on my father's side are Oromo, and a lot of my family members have, like almost all of my family came here on political asylum.
Whoa.
As refugees. And, a lot of people, my elders, suffered for dignity. They did years in jail. My dad was a protester. Whether it was like as part of the revolution in Ethiopia or whether it was after the revolution, fighting for the right to, speak your language, to have Afan Oromo as a language of government, business and instruction, a variety of things that are probably too complicated in this discussion to really get into. And at every step of the way, music was part of it. And so the thing for me is like, when I play my guitar, I can barely speak Oromo, but my guitar can. And that is a way of acknowledging and honoring the sacrifices of many people who came before me, and unfortunately many people younger than me right now, in their struggle. And I really hope for the best, and I hope that even within the DC community that things get to a more open and honest place. There's a lot that music can do in terms of promoting peace, dignity, respect, cohabitation. But then sometimes there's a lot music can do. And when you really like empower people through music and through the themes of your songs, like Achalu did, that's also threatening. And so it's a responsibility that I have. And that's why I said with Kino Musica, I'm really proud because it's kind of like my offering. And I'm really grateful to play with the group, and like we all recorded it, and everybody, I think you feel the same way, right? Like for music, it just brings up new questions, new learning opportunities. It's like the conversations and the process that goes along with the music. Like that's where the real community is, right?
Yeah.
And it's been like that with my group. I love them so much, man, for real.
Yeah, man. I mean, thank God for music.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna park this here for you all in the comment section. But I'm also gonna show this up on the screen right here, so y'all can check the name real quick and look up this brother. All right, and check out the work and the contribution. So yeah, man, like I remember like a little earlier we was talking about doing this, and then you talking about that news, and it's hard when you lose people that are important to the culture, and then when they're young too, you know what I'm saying, young contributors and just doing their thing, just being fearless and try to speak up for things that are correct and right and in all fairness, and then they just can't be allowed to live. It just reminded me of this quote, and I'm gonna see if I can find it for you all, y'all. Man, so this is a straight up this some straight up like scripture giant, but it was like, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
Definitely.
there's just some cats that just don't want that, just don't want stuff the way, you know, stuff to pan out in all fairness, because they are complacent and taken care of in the current
great.
state of the world, you know?
Definitely.
And so we got to navigate, and so it's up to us to navigate and change it. You know what I'm saying? It's tough though, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. One of I saw a couple. I'm passing this on secondhand because I didn't do the interpretation, and I probably couldn't do it at my level of speaking off on Oromo. But I saw my friend Tyler shared this quote that in one of Achalu's famous songs, he basically makes a statement saying that, you know, like there's statues of leaders on horses, but they have to understand that those are the people's horses, that the horses belong to the land, right? Like, you wouldn't be standing up if it wasn't for the masses, right? And
Yo, straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up.
So yeah, but I hope for the best, but you know, that comes from true humility. That comes from, technically I'm not an elder, but like 70% of the people who live in Ethiopia are younger than me. That comes from setting examples. I think that comes from communication, and it comes from honesty, right? Mm-hmm. And like, yeah, that's what has to happen. So thank you, man. I just wanted to touch on that a little bit and just kind of make sure that I do my appropriate acknowledgments and share a bit more. If anybody wants to learn more, you can follow me on IG. I'll be sharing a lot about like next steps and just like things that people can do.
Yeah. Right down there. Holler at them on the IG, y'all. Holler at the band on the IG. Now, all good. Got you covered like shea butter, my dude.
Thank you.
So, man, all right. So look, dog, it's a heavy time out here. I mean,
yeah,
the spirit of division is high. You know what I'm saying? You got people on the left looking at the people on the right like they crazy. You got people on the right looking at the people on the left like they crazy. But we're all on the same bird. You right wing, left wing, we on the same bird, y'all. We got to figure this stuff out, yo. A lot of times we are always fighting each other, and we never look up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh man, people, you know what I'm saying, money's being taken away because the left is doing, because the right is doing, but we never look up. You know what I'm saying? We got to look up at the folks that are behind things, all right, and figure some stuff out. And I really think that we'll be able to solve these issues by actually talking to each other and coming together. All right. I mean, because I'm a musician, I get a chance to meet people from all over the place. Now, I come from a hood. I come from Condon Terrace. I come from Southeast Washington, D.C. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come from like a necessarily privileged background. You know what I'm saying? We black. You know what I'm saying? My mom got a disability. She's a single parent. We lived in a homeless shelter at one point in time. But we got through it. Through the arts, you know what I'm saying? The brother was able to do my thing and start seeing the world. You know what I'm saying? So through this music, I'm able to meet a lot of people and talk to people. And we have a lot more things in common than you think we have, than we have differences. And a lot of times where I find that my folks that they might not think they're like Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. It's just like, oh, they don't understand what the movement is about. They think it's an affront to their own lives, but it's like, no, it's about humanity. And it's like, okay, but we got to have those conversations. And when we have these conversations, we got to do it in love. And then we also got to fix our households. So if you ever come across like racism and bigotry amongst your own people, amongst your homies, you know what I'm saying, your family and stuff, you know what I'm saying, it's up to you to have those loving conversations that don't condemn or judge them, but just educate them. You know what I'm saying?
Got to do it.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you being here, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how you feeling and stuff. I want to see if we get into a little bit more music, if at all possible.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I got one up on you. You got it, bruh.
Okay. Let's see here. Should have got a capo.
Oh man, Capo Life.
Yeah. It's over there. Let me go grab it real quick, Chris.
Now go ahead, grab that. Go ahead, grab that joint real quick.
Good deal.
Right
Thank
now,
you,
I'm gonna give a shout out to all the people that are tuning in and in the comment section. Yo, what's up, Gianni? Peace, man. Good brother doing some great things down there, yo. Check him out. Peace to my boy Alberto Salgado in Brasília, Brazil. It's Sobradinho, I think, right about now. Yo, thank you for coming through. And my man, Mark Lewis in the place to be, man, coming through. And he was, wow, dog. I didn't know you was a part of that joint. So Halle Garima did this movie, iconic black cinema joint called Sankofa. I didn't know you was a part of that, man. The connections, man, in DC and in the city is crazy. Yo, peace to Jasmine out here. And over here representing from I think in Minnesota these days, right? Over there in Minneapolis. And then my good mentor, my teacher who taught me so much about rhyming and songwriting, my dude Timothy Jones. You got to check his work out and check what he's doing with hip-hop ad. And I believe that's on, what days is that? I think that's Tuesday on Twitter. It's hashtag hip-hop ad. I think it's Tuesdays, all right? So sorry if I'm wrong. But yeah, he does his thing, man. That's my teacher right there. He taught me a lot about rhyming and freestyling. Yo, you got it?
Thank you.
Cape on lock.
You know what? It was actually really close. It was just right there.
Sometimes you gotta take a. Yeah, hold on, real quick, y'all. Quick public service announcement. We got hip hop ad, hashtag hip hop ad, Tuesdays 9 p.m. EST in the Eastern Standard Time. Y'all holler at it. Cool stuff, my friends. All right, so look, pie y'all. Thank you, Tim.
All right. I'm gonna dedicate the song actually to Lucy Murphy.
Hey.
Yeah, we did the. I've been performing this cover for a while in Kino Musica, and Lucy and I did this. It was like last year. We did this small show together, and we were going through songs. And I asked her if she'd been listening to any Colombian music, and then she recommended this song, and she really loved it. Yeah, so she was singing the harmony, and it's called Amanecer by Herencia de Timbiquí. Amanecer, noche amanecer, que me estoy mojando, noche amanecer. Amanecer, noche amanecer, que ya tengo frío, noche amanecer. Cuando el campesino deja su bohío en la madrugada en medio del frío, lo coge la noche de regresa al nido. Hay una tormenta en medio camino. Amanecer, noche amanecer, que me estoy mojando, noche amanecer. Amanecer, noche amanecer, que ya tengo frío, noche amanecer. Como el conductor en la carretera, aferrado el sol antes que anochezca, pa' contrarreloj dura es la carrera, rogando a su Dios para que no vuelva. Amanecer, noche amanecer, que me estoy mojando, noche amanecer. Amanecer, noche amanecer, que ya tengo frío, noche amanecer. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Hold on, my bad. Let me get my mic in order. Wow.
No problem.
Bro, thank you for that, John. Amanecer. Amanhecer. It's just like Portuguese.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all Latin languages,
Yeah.
Romance language tree. So, but I be forgetting what Amanhecer means. So like amanhã, so like to, I don't know,
It's like
like
dawn.
to, yeah,
Dawn.
yeah,
Yeah.
to dawn.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful song. Like the band is from the town Timbiki. And so like some of what the lyrics are is I think it's an allegory because they're describing just kind of like day-to-day life in their small town, which is on the Pacific coast. But I think it's also like there's the subtext of being an inherently like hopeful song because it's talking about, you know, regions of Colombia that unfortunately suffered a lot during the different conflicts and from violence, right? And so it's like kind of done because it's not necessarily like that period is ending, but it's like by looking at the beauty of day-to-day life over there, it's making a defense almost of keeping the social order, right? So you can take it a couple of ways, but yeah, it's just a really nice little song.
Dang, that's what's up, man. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Yo, getting them with all the languages.
Yeah, definitely.
All the languages out here. My friends, if you have any questions for myself or Kumada, yo, write them joints in the comment section. We got you covered like Shea Butter, yo. No
Please.
problems. And then also, quick thing I forgot to mention about Hip Hop Ed that happens on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock. Just follow with the hashtag Hip Hop Ed. Is that it's also happening on Twitter. All right, so check that out. Hip Hop and Education, yo, man, this guy taught me so much about like about bringing hip hop into education. And so now I do a lot of workshops around this stuff, my friends, because it's so great. It's so great for learning things. I mean, how many times have you learned the songs to a popular rap joint and you didn't even want to know it? Like when that Soulja Boy song came on, Crank That Soulja Boy, when that joint came out, I was making fun of it one day when the song was hot, and I ain't really listened to it like that, but I just started singing the first line, and then next thing you know, the other line started going one by one, and I'm like, hold on, I know this whole song, and I didn't even want to try. Now, if I could have been like that with geometry, you know what I'm saying, then school would have been way easier. And so then the thought is, hey, why not use hip hop to educate in this way? You know what I'm saying? To put all the things in the mind like that. So we're going to use it. We're going to use it for the good and for enriching the mind. So hip hop education. Check out Hip Hop Ed, y'all.
I remember when I first moved to DC, I was working at the Latin American Youth Center in Columbia Heights, and I went to a workshop, and Bomani was actually
It's one of my mentors right
there.
there.
Yeah, Bomani was running the workshop, and he was touching on that same kind of concept. So yeah, it's one of those things where like, you know, I was working different jobs in like elementary, high school, middle school, working with youth in DC. And even in Texas, like, I wish that there was more cultural arts programming, like those type of activities for students, because I think until you get to high school, there's not really this might be outdated information because I haven't worked here in a while in the schools, but like at LAYC, we were the ones bringing instruments into the school, right? Like where we worked at, we were the ones, like where the kids were coming to the drop-in center. And so, yeah, I wish, because there's so much talent here, right? I love the music scene here. I'm from a city that's well known for music, right? But I think in DC is really where like I developed my identity as a musician because of just how wonderful the scene is here, right?
Yeah, man, I love it, bro. And hold on, what was it like for you when you moved to DC, like observing some DC culture? So you're at Latin American Youth Center, right?
Yeah.
So that's LAYC, that's in Columbia Heights right there. I taught some workshops at there as well. So so you at LAYC, so boom, that's all like African, Latin, diaspora all up in there.
Yeah.
And then also you got straight hoods and there's all black folks in that joint too. We got it
Everybody.
all. So what year did you come to DC, my dude?
2007.
2007. What was cracking? All right, what was that? Was snap music still a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. All right, so you have 2007. What was it like, bruh, dropping and being in this joint, getting into DC and observing the culture?
It was great. I kind of knew DC a bit because my family had come here. My extended family, like my cousins, everybody came here in the mid '90s, and so I would come and spend a couple weeks every summer here. And so I saw a lot of like Alexandria, Shaw, and other places. And I think like especially around that time in the '90s, there was like the music I grew up on was bounce, screw.
Oh, word up.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, because that New Orleans. Yeah.
And we had
music market.
To this day, like my sister and I can do the get it ready.
Oh,
Like
y'all
we
can do the joke with the legs and everything like that. Oh,
Yeah.
I love bounce, bruh.
We love that
New
song.
Orleans bounce, y'all. That joint
Yeah.
goes in.
And then like the Texas stuff, Austin is culturally, like in Black and Latino neighborhoods in Austin, like we're very culturally close to Houston. And so there was a screw shop in my neighborhood where you can go and get like DJ Screw tapes at the time and everything.
Yeah, you gotta educate them real quick for the people that don't know what screw is.
Oh,
Here we go. We about to get you with some culture real quick. All right?
yeah. Screw came from DJ Screw in Houston. And it's a way of kind of slowing down the song and the pitch and the beat. They would add like some other production elements, and it was great. Like people would flow on top of really popular songs, like any DJ would remix a song. And the one that like killed everything when it came out was June 27th. Like that song when it came, oof.
I ain't hear that. I ain't hear that one, brother.
Freestyle, and
Wow.
it's a 50-minute long freestyle on top of one beat that it's wonderful. Like it was our pride. Like seriously, for being from the South, like that was the song. And then Outkast was a really big influence also. I think Outkast was like the thing in my consciousness, the music in my consciousness that made me want to be a musician.
Wow, Outkast, that's crazy. And that's I know nothing about that screw music, that chopped and screw music until what was the first chopped and screw record I heard? Bruh, you gotta hear this. But DC Youngins love this, bruh. Bone Thugs and Harmony. Ooh,
yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Definitely.
Yo, Bone Thugs and Harmony, they already are amazing, right? Because they had a very fast triplet bass flow. Like right now we listen to trap music and like just like a sub of like a subsidiary of hip hop. So trap music, and they do like those triplet flows all the time. Boom, some of the you know what I'm saying, like that. And that's like a group like the Migos from Atlanta. So that's trap music, but they were doing that stuff in the 90s, y'all. That joint was like, when is like probably 96 or something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They was doing that style. And so DC Youngins loved them and loved some Tupac and loved some Scarface. Hey.
Yeah.
And so when that screw came up over here, it was amazing. Like it just like slowed down, really mellow. So check that out, man. Check out Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix. And then check out the one that focuses on the South, and you'll get the chance to learn this. If you want to really learn about a lot of hip hop and stuff, y'all, check out the documentary Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix. Okay,
it's I love amazing, those 2 episodes. Y'all. The ones season 4, the first 2 episodes. The first one was on New Orleans, and the second one was on Screw.
Yeah, beautiful. And things I just didn't know. So you said you was hitting with the bounce and screw stuff, right?
Yeah, that's what I was like really into and grew up on. And then, so whenever I would come here when I was really young, as my first time like hearing some of those, like there's kind of like that East Coast DJ mix set thing that like goes into, let me clear my throat. Like it's just like,
oh yeah, he a DC dude by the way too. Let me clear my throat. That's DJ Cool. He's from Southeast.
No way.
He's a Southeast dude.
How did I not know this, man?
Yeah, young. Yeah. Oh, we got to put on. Just like you got your Galveston Youngins, you know what I'm saying?
So I would start hearing that stuff, and DC was like the most fun in the place in the world for me, really, and it still is. And so when I moved here, first things first, like as a Black person, it was amazing. Like I wasn't used to that in Austin. Like we had our neighborhoods and areas, but the social life was really restrictive. Like it was just tough to live in a city that it didn't feel like nobody really wanted you there, because Austin is a very, very segregated city. And then so coming to DC, I was able to relax a little bit. And being in Columbia Heights, I lived in Columbia Heights. I lived in Adams Morgan first, and then I lived in Columbia Heights. And those were like 2007 to like 2010 was just an incredibly fun time. Musically, I started learning a lot. And in terms of the cultures, yeah, that's entirely what it was. Like first and foremost, I was moving to a Black city, and that was like a dream for me. Given just like what Austin was like. And then, you know, there was the Ethiopian community here that I started to get to know little by little, and get incorporated with. Sankofa was really important, just hanging out outside of Sankofa and meeting people. And then, you know what, the music more than anything though, that I had never heard and was like the first thing that I was just like surrounded by in Columbia Heights was bachata.
Oh, word. Okay. Yep. Understood.
Every car that drove by was like, yeah.
Oh, you can't forget that one. That little. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna have to lace you real quick. I mean, I can't do that part. But then you just hear all 808 bass, and then that bass, like that bass slide on it.
I love
with them,
it,
like
man.
them bongos up high pitched.
That one song, El Chaval, Donde Están Esos Amigos, I think was the name, was everywhere.
Bruh.
Like
I
around.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm from Southeast. I stay uptown now. I'm up in the Columbia Heights area. It's called like 14th Street Heights.
Okay.
Like you know, as far as on the map. So like I'm around that flavor all the time, and I love it, man. But yo, you was coming around in DC like in the 90s and stuff, bruh. Man, that was like Chocolate City, yo. It was crazy. Like, but then even after that, even like 2007 and all that stuff, even like where I'm from, east of the Anacostia River and stuff like that joint is still like predominantly Black. It's crazy, crazy. It was like growing up like in like a African city, yo. It was like being in like Nigeria or something like that, because everybody was just Black. The mayors have always been Black and stuff. So because of this, I think it gives like DC youngins like a different type of perspective and a different type of like comfort in their own skin, versus like growing up in the area and it's like, you know what I'm saying, there's oppression and animosity on all sides. You know what I'm saying? It's really interesting to hear your perspective on that. What about two things I want to ask you about when you came into DC real quick, and then we're going to have to slide on now because we're hitting the hour mark, y'all. Thanks for rocking with us. If you have any questions for us, put that joint in the comment section. Any curiosities, things to add to this joint, let us know in the comment section. All right. So look, here we go. What about, do you remember the first time that you heard go-go music in DC?
Yeah, it was when I was young.
Hey, what year?
This has to be like 97.
97. Okay.
Yeah. One like around between more like 98 to 2000. No, it was wonderful. Like it's still, when I hear it, it sounds like the summertime to me.
Oh man. Seriously. Oh man. Like you either gonna be hearing bachata in cars, or you hearing go-go out youngins' windows, out youngins' cars' window. Or that boom go pa, boom go pa. or you hear, hey, what is this? Like,
I love it. Yeah,
it's amazing. It's so cool, man. At that time, we was doing that beat, the boom. Oh, let me play on the djembe. This is a djembe, a West African drum, but this is a very modern version. But I'm going to do the go-go beat on it. It's really done with this style of beat is done with a drum set, timbales, and tambourine stuff, but it's like And then I think we actually started getting a lot from Screw, and we started doing slow bounce. I don't know if you picked up on that, but it go like this.
Oh yeah.
But yo, that beat started cracking only after Screw music started like really like, you know what I'm saying,
That's so
spreading
cool.
in DC. And so I
That's
think
so
it's a
cool.
direct connection and being inspired by that music. Then that beat got slow. Then you start doing slow bounce, and then you start
Yeah.
doing this dance called chop. DC culture crazy, yo, and like a lot of people don't know about it, but yo, it's really rich. It's some fun stuff, y'all. And so you got into go-go music early in the game when you heard it. Now,
Yeah. No, it was so fun. And it's just, you know, like, actually one thing that I always told folks, because I don't know if you remember, we actually met through a mutual friend a long time ago before we hooked up as musicians. It was Nate, when I worked at Urban Alliance. And so
oh snap.
it
Yeah,
was
that's my
way
dude.
back,
Oh
way back in
man.
the day.
Wow, dog. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And so in Urban Alliance, most of the students are from Ward 7 and 8. And so I was
my ward.
yeah, that was cool because I had felt just, you know, my entire life was within like a mile of where LA, like just Petworth and Columbia Heights, which are neighborhoods that I love. But it was really cool being able to, you know, go out there and go out to Marshall Heights and Mayfair and like all these different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And part of the thing that I actually really like about Southeast is it reminds me of Texas. Because there's a little bit more space, you know.
It's
like,
a lot of space. It's a lot of grass and trees
Yeah.
over in Southeast. People be sleeping. It's kind of like country or like of DC, the parts, you know.
Yeah, and so before that, when I was younger, I'd been in like Northwest and some parts of Alexandria, and that was the thing. It's just like understanding that difference is when I came here, of like just not being able to grill all the time, not being able to barbecue. Like, I mean, I had a spot, you know, I lived in a row house and everything.
Okay.
But when I was here in the summertime as a kid, it was just really interesting and exciting being around that many people, just like physically that many people at one time in comparison to Austin, and especially my neighborhood where I grew up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mayfair, man, good old Mayfair. Yeah, the sprawl of Mayfair is really interesting. Have you ever went to the Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens over there?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Lotus is y'all gotta check that out, the Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens, and it's down there. It's down there. It's like right behind the hood, like, you know what I'm saying, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
We took students there. Like when I was working with like middle school students, we would take students there.
That blew my mind when I went down there. I was like, whole time this has been right here. Wow,
it's beautiful.
And so you was working with those kids. All right, last question real quick, unless y'all got some questions, yo. And Limu, thank you so much for being in this thing. Yo, we got Regan up in this joint. Regan of Kino Musica, yo.
Regan, shout out. Yeah, shout out Regan, shout out Diego, shout out Fred, shout out Besu, Yabi, everybody in the band.
For sure. And hold on real quick before I ask them this last question. Why this up here? Go ahead, check out their Instagrams and write that down. Do what you gotta do. So look, my friend. So this is now when you work with DC Youth, you really get a chance to really get into like the city and some culture, right? Because you're hearing about all that new emerging culture that's coming out. So, Young, what was it like working with DC students? And then you hear the speech.
I love them.
Well, yeah.
You
like, what was your experience like?
No, I mean, it was just like I'm in a new place. Like the thing is if I was to speak with my friends in Austin, like we have I'm outdated now. I haven't kept up with the slang, but we haven't. Yeah. I mean, like everybody has their own flow, right?
For sure.
And I forgot, what did I say? I have a cousin. She grew up around here from Silver Spring, and I was meeting up with her, and I forgot I said something, and she didn't know, and she was like, "Are you working with kids?" And I was like, "Yeah." I think I said, I forgot. And so then it was fun. It was fun. Like kids got personality, man.
Bruh.
DC folks got personality.
For sure.
They changed my life, man. I love them so much. Seriously.
Kids get live. I love it, bro.
Yeah. I saw that there's a question from Michael. Thank you so much for your kind words, Michael. And he wanted to know who are some of my favorite Ethiopian artists. Yeah, that's a good question. Hands down, my favorite artist of all time is Talahun Gassasa. He's not as popular outside of the community as maybe Mahmoud Ahmed is, who I also adore. But Talahun, one of my uncles said a joke of like Talahun, his voice, you'll be singing along to his songs, but you stay on the ground. But in Talahun's voice, it takes off like a plane, you know. He was just an incredible singer. And then another artist who I think is foundational is Ali Birra, who informs like my guitar playing style. He plays oud and guitar. And he's just everything for Oromo music. And then the last person who I really, really love her is Amelmal Abate. There's one scale that is the most challenging to sing. It's called Anchuoyes. And Amelmal can sing that scale. Like, she's wonderful.
What's this like? It sounds like some harmonic minor, but it might be Phrygian though.
It's
flat second.
So the thing is and actually Besu and I have a little bit of a disagreement about like what we think the first note is in the scale, but I see it as a pentatonic scale with a major seventh and a flat fifth. So instead of it's
Nossa. Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, but Besu and other musicians, not just him, a lot of people hear it more as this, where instead of starting, this is in D, instead of starting in D, start in a C sharp. But you know, music theory isn't my strong suit. So
man, I like to nerd out on that stuff. Yo, Michael, thank you for coming through, man, with the question. You know what I'm saying? Any other questions, let us know. I want to know what was the thing that you said or what slang that caught you. I
think I said Sagna. I think that's what Sagna? It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what I said. But my memory is not that great. So
we do that all the time.
It's not one that I whip out often. I may have been trying to test it out at the time and see if I could pull it off or not with as much style as my students and friends. So,
hey,
I think that's what I said. I started saying son a lot.
Oh yeah, we do that son stuff.
Yeah, like, I had to take a break. Like more when I went back to Texas, my friends were like, "You just call me son."
Yeah, because it's kind of like New York, right?
Yeah,
because New York youngins say son, right? But DC say youngin, and other Southern cats will say youngin, right? So look, quick little DC. First of all, there's psych nah for you right there, like right down there. So psych nah, like you use it like you're playing with someone, and like, hey man, hey, you know what, man? I'm about to give up music, man. Like for real, Christylez, psych nah. Right? It's like nah. Or just like really quick like that. So DC is so interesting, right? Because technically we're the South because we're below the Mason-Dixon line, but Southerners don't want to claim us. And people from up north, they definitely don't want to claim us. We're below the Mason-Dixon line, right? So I always say that, I forget who I got this from, but DC is too south for the north and too north for the south. If you go up north, they say you sound like you're from down south. If you're a DC cat and you go down south, they say you sound like you from up north because we say things like son, but then we also say young or youngin'. We're like in between. And like if you're in Northwest, it's more like a northern type of city in a way. If you go down to like Southeast is more like a southern vibe, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And all the black people that are like native Washingtonians that have been here for like generations, 9 times out of 10 they came up here from Raleigh Durham. They came up here from the Carolinas. My family is from Tennessee, and my father's side, they're from the Carolinas.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's like our makeup along the Great Migration, right? The black folks. And so we have really interesting slang. So like young and you were saying son too.
Yeah. No, and that might be our part 2 discussion, because I read The Warmth of Other Suns last year.
Whoa, I heard a lot about this book.
Yeah, just completely took me out. It's such a wonderful book about the Great Migration. And I really felt like it helped educate me a lot about that migration, right? Because I remember reading one of the stories about someone who had moved from Florida, I believe, to New York, and how when this person would call back home, like everybody would run to the phone to talk to them, right? Because they didn't call back home often. I think this was in like the 20s or the 30s.
Wow.
And I know that story because that's what my dad told me whenever he would call back to Ethiopia, because he was the first person in his family that came here.
What's up?
Yeah. So that would be a wonderful discussion to pick up on.
Man, yo. Yeah, man. I'm gonna put this down for you because I've been hearing a lot about this joint. Hey, okay, Lima, I got you. And then I'm gonna I got you right here. I got you covered like shit, but anyone who's interested in this, who's interested in this book, yeah, I'm putting in the comment section. There we go. Right there.
Yeah.
Yo, nah, that's so interesting, man. So yeah, what about and so the year you were up here, you came up here and was like really in here working with youth around 2007?
It took me a while to get the job. So like 2008 was when I started really feeling at home here.
Okay, understood. By that time, I think I may have been teaching in schools, DC public schools. I was like doing creative writing and stuff in DC public schools, and then I was also what else? And I also did some stuff at Maya Angelou Public Charter School. And I wasn't that. I mean, I graduated from high school like 2005. You know what I'm saying? And started working as a workshop facilitator, learning from Timothy Jones and Bomani Amar, aka Barbara Bomani, my mentors. And so I'm like the ages of their older siblings, right? And I remember I was telling them, okay, look, we're gonna do this piece. You got to write a rhyme or a poem about like what you're seeing and experiencing as you're chilling in the crib, right? It's like, Mr. Bacon, you mean we got homework? Like, yeah, you write a little something, like some bars at home. Like, she said, what she said? She said, kill Mo, you got me guh. I was like, yo.
Yeah, I remember that.
The phrase was, the sentence went, kill Mo, you got me guh.
Yeah.
That is so rich in like contemporary DC slang at the time. Yeah. It's like, how do you break it down? Kill Mo, kill, direct address, Mo. Kill means stop, like kill it. So kill, Mo is just like a general term for anyone, right? And so in this case, we used to say Joe in the 90s. Older DC, you say Joe, like, hey, what up, Joe? Hey, Joe. Oh, go ahead, Joe. But it's like, oh yeah, all right, Mo. Hey, come here, Mo. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you got me guh. Guh is like it's like a primal utterance. It's like, it just represents like this feeling of being just really annoyed and just like, just not feeling it. Like, I'm guh. It's a state of being as well.
Guh, yeah.
Like, I'm guh. Like, oh, he got me guh. And so that's just the way it's said. So, kill Mo, you got me guh. DC slang, which for you, young?
Yeah, I remember that. How you see it? Nah, man, you got me like really nostalgic right now, thinking of being in Powell, Bell, McFarlane.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I love Bill
I
too,
would go
man.
to Paul sometimes, like
Yep.
yeah, all of those Raymond, all of those schools. It's really like making me nostalgic, man.
You was in some good joints. You was in some, yeah. You was hitting them Northwest schools right
Yeah,
there. Yeah,
yeah.
them Northwest joints. I was in all the hoods. I was at Sousa. I was at what else? Then where the other schools? Shad. I can't remember all them joints, but I was there though because I was using hip hop as ways to teach things like figurative language and whatever, and so people took a liking to it, and it will reach people. And so once again, man, cultural pedagogy and using the culture and using the knowledge that is already present in culture and community as a way to teach and give new information. Man, hip hop. I love it. And music. Bruh. So man, a fellow educator out here and musician.
Yeah, and actually, somebody who I'm going to call back. I saw he called me while we were on. I don't know if he saw me, but just one of my really good friends, also a musician, educator, Cleveland, and Cleve was one of those people because there was a question about like how do you do that effectively, right? Like how do you use that effectively? And part of that is like making sure that you hire staff from the area, right? Like you hire folks who can do it, right? Who
Beautiful
are
point.
talented.
Yep.
Give money where it needs to be given, right? Like and so I was always like really humble about like I got my hood, but like I'm somewhere else,
Hey.
and I respect this place very much. And so knowing about when I can step in and when I should step back. And having staff members like Cleveland when I worked at LAYC was so key because he could just connect with anybody, and he put all these different clubs together. He used music, he used other things, and so there's just so much talent in DC, and make sure that DC folks are always like first and foremost in how these projects are put together.
Man, that's what's up, young. Yeah, and now you're here, my dude, adding to
Thank
the
you.
cultural,
Thank you.
musical tapestry
I
of
got my
this city.
passport.
Exactly. Let's go, man. You here, baby? And so look, yo, we got to comment down here, doing that search, and
Definitely.
then hold on, and then it's a whole conversation going on in this joint. And it's like, yeah. Yeah, they Votroning, Kino Musica Votroning. They got some cool people, you know what I'm saying, coming together,
up, Besu?
connecting like Tetris, you know?
Salam.
Hey. So man, look, we above we over
I know the
the time.
clock. Yeah. This is so fun, Chris.
Man, yo, straight up. Thank you, brother. Thank you for being a collaborator. Thank you for being open. Thank you for being a fellow bridging music, bridging culture, bridging people. You know what I'm saying? Yo, thank you, Lima, for doing this joint right here. Some culturally responsive teacher. Yeah. And so, man, thank you for being here. Yo, youngin, y'all stay safe out this joint. Yo, come on. Do you have any parting messages, anything for the people?
Kino Musica. Follow us on Instagram,
Right here.
Facebook. We have new music coming out. We hope it'll meet the moment. It's a really tough time for a lot of people, both here and in a lot of the places where we draw inspiration from for the music. So I hope the messages that we put out are received with candor and love and honesty. That's what we want to put out. So everybody take care of yourselves. It's been a pleasure.
Sure, yo. Yeah, man. That's my joint right there. By the way, my name is Christylez Bacon. I'm here chilling, you know what I'm saying? And so, yo, you could check out this series Beatbox Remix, right? We doing live chats, but we doing the videos on the regular and stuff and collaborating with all types of people. The most recent one was with a Chinese musician named Jiama, and she plays pipa. It's like a Chinese lute or like close to guitar. It's really dope, yo. But check that out. Just type in beatboxremix.com and then you'll see all that information, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. This journey is going to be available on YouTube, and then after this is also going to be available on the Book of Faces. And you can see all of the videos on YouTube, Facebook Watch, and the instantaneous gram. And let me make sure. Anything else? I think that's it. Everybody, thank y'all so much for being here and for joining us. And we'll catch you next time. But for now, we out like trout. Peace.
Peace.